Welcome to, just a confession, last live read I said it was our 20th and everybody was like, yay, and I was wrong. So I'm sorry, it was our 18th. So this is our 19th.
Yay!
Thank you to everybody who entered. There might be some people here who entered and didn't win. It was a tough one this time around. So congratulations to the two writers, one of which is Aaron, who is here in the room in the corner. Our other writer is his name is Del, and he lives in England. And it's the first time we've had an international winner, so we don't have the budget to fly him over. But he'll be watching when we post this on YouTube, so can we say congratulations to Del? I'd also like to welcome our insider, Kira Snyder from The Handmaid's Tale and Pacific Rim Uprising and every other movie and TV show ever. Thank you so much for coming, Kira. So let's get going with the first script, Aaron's script, which is, what, is it a feature?
It's a feature,
It's a feature, okay.
AB is an ET. Fade in. Exterior, Pittsburgh's Heinz Field, establishing day. Series of shots, various Pittsburgh Steelers football games. Antonio Brown, AB, number 84, fakes out a defender, makes an impossible one-handed catch, bolts up the sideline, speed and agility off the charts. AB catches a pass over the middle of the field with multiple defenders all around, makes them all miss, darts up the field. AB zigzags up the field, makes incredible moves, avoids multiple defenders en route to the end zone. AB scores a touchdown, performs one of his patented end zone dances. AB scores again and performs a more elaborate end zone dance with 5 teammates. AB catches football in mid-stride, takes a hard hit, goes down, injured. A collective moan rolls through the stadium. While being carted off the field, AB flashes a confident thumbs up to crowded stadium as everyone chants, AB, 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 AB. Interior Pittsburgh Steelers locker room day. Post-game, reporters surround Ben Roethlisberger, I got it right, microphones in hand.
You feel like another wideout will step up in AB's absence?
I hope so. Look, I'll be honest, AB, you can't replace him with one man. AB is not human, so we'll have to find multiple guys trying to fill that spot.
Interior doctor's office therapy room day. Dr. Smith, 50s, Frau Blucherish, obese, seated at a table next to a little girl who exudes an almost angelic persona. Bishop Evers, 10, African American, clad in number 84 Pittsburgh Steelers football jersey, focused on a Jenga endgame. Sophisticated, haughty, Dr. Smith reads iPad.
Born in Miami, Florida, Miami Gardens High School, attended Central Michigan College on a football scholarship.
Yeah, for went his senior year at Central Michigan and entered a 2010 NFL draft. And the Steelers picked him up after round 6 and 195th pick overall.
Dr. Smith stares at Bishop in amazement, marvels at her hair, reaches out to touch it.
Oh, I hate it when people touch my hair.
It happens a lot.
All the time.
Your hair is so lovely. May I have a lock of it?
Why?
Keepsake.
Why?
As I said, it's lovely, and I'd love to have a small sample of it.
No.
Okay, I accept that. Where were we?
AB.
Yes. Now, you and I do agree that Antonio Brown is actually a human being from right here on planet Earth, correct?
AB is different.
You mean talent-wise?
Bishop shakes her head, carefully removes a Jenga block.
His eyes, his smile. During his games, he constantly sends signals to the others.
Other extraterrestrials. I thought we agreed AB is human like the rest of us.
He's both.
Extraterrestrial and human.
Ever seen one of his touchdown dances?
Bishop stands, positions her feet just right, and performs the Benny Biggle Wiggle.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, AB calls that one the wiggle.
And how does he signal the others?
Bishop transitions to precise hand movements with nuanced hip wiggles.
I mean, like body language, along with like other specific like hand and foot movements. Kind of fun. You want to try?
No, thank you. You can stop now.
She stops dancing, takes her seat, focuses on Jenga Tower.
How many others are there, Bishop?
Too many to count.
Any idea where they come from?
Different places from the universe.
I see. So, what do you think is AB's mission here on Earth
Help us out.
as a professional football player?
Bishop nods, eyes on Jenga Tower.
How?
By letting us know that they're here.
Exterior middle-class neighborhood, Sumlin home day. Front door flies open. Ella Sumlin, 10, blonde hair, blue eyes, runs out, meets USPS mail carrier Gertrude. Good morning, Ella.
Good morning, Gertrude.
How are we today?
Good, thank you.
Gertrude hands Ella a package and other mail. Interior Sumlin home, Ella's bedroom day. Ella runs in, opens the package, takes out an Antonio Brown number 84 striped throwback football jersey, puts it on, checks out reflection in closet mirror, loves that jersey. Interior Sumlin home, living room day. Cammie Sumlin, 30s, attractive, walks over, peeks out window, glimpses Gertrude depositing mail in neighbor's mailbox.
You have the mail, Ella? Yes, Mom.
Interior Ella's bedroom day. Ella takes off jersey, grabs mail, runs out. Interior doctor's office day. Dr. Smith is seated with Rosalind, Roz, and Doug Evers, both late 30s, good-looking, clean-cut, deeply concerned.
Child onset schizophrenia is very rare, but Bishop's symptoms are explicit.
Child onset?
Schizophrenia?
No, we think she's...
Are you an avid football fan?
This is Pittsburgh. It's Steeler Nation. Who is it?
Bishop believes Antonio Brown is a watcher.
A watcher?
In what regard?
Watchers are biblical angels, holy ones from heaven sent here to watch over mankind.
We're not religious.
Damn internet.
Bishop believes watchers are real and are actually extraterrestrials, good and bad, some of whom live on Earth in human form.
Priceless. AB's a watcher.
Of the highest order. As it turns out, AB delivers coded messages to other watchers located all over our world via his touchdown celebrations.
That's my girl Bishop. Imaginative as they come. She'll make one heck of a writer someday.
She'll make an even better scientist.
Your daughter has a long-term mental disorder that requires immediate treatment.
We don't believe that.
You should.
Bishop is a very intelligent, even gifted little girl.
Yeah, straight A student, all advanced classes, gets along well with other kids, respects her elders, the whole 9 yards. I'm not trying to brag, but she has genius qualities.
There's a fine line between genius and insanity.
With all due respect, Dr. Smith, we only needed your help to try and get her out of the football jersey. End of story.
She wears the jersey every day. Kids are starting to tease her at school. Teachers are starting to worry.
Dr. Smith scribbles on iPad.
I think you both realize this is not about the jersey. If Bishop's disorder is not properly treated, things will only get worse.
Interior doctor's office, waiting room day. Bishop FaceTimes Ella. Ella pulls her phone back to show Bishop she's wearing her new AB throwback jersey.
Whoa.
Nice, huh?
Where'd you get it? Not Amazon.
My dad.
Where'd he get it?
Door opens, Roz and Doug enter.
Let's roll, sweetie.
Tell me later. I have to go.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bishop puts her phone away, stands.
Everything okay, Dad?
Yeah, everything's...
We'll talk in the car.
Exterior doctor's office, parking lot day. Roz, Bishop, and Doug stroll to their family sedan. Doug tickles Bishop. She laughs, tickles him back. Interior sedan, traveling day. Roz and Bishop are seated up front. Doug is in back.
Where did you get the information about watchers, Bishop?
Online Bible, Kindle, and audiobooks. Mostly audiobooks.
When?
Last year, I read the whole thing.
You read the entire Bible.
Old and New Testaments?
Yeah.
Why would you want to read the entire Bible, sweetheart?
I was curious, Dad.
Well, that's a heck of a lot of curiosity.
Interior Dr. Smith's office day. Dr. Smith is seated, speaks to an Aristotle.
She's an oracle for sure. She could be the one. I've heard this before. Yes, this one is different. What evidence do you have? She knows far too much for a 10-year-old, and she's far too confident.
Exterior Evers home, establishing night. Upper middle class neighborhood, 2 stories, nice. Interior Evers home, Bishop's bedroom, night. High-end electric piano sits against one of the 4 walls that are covered with music notes, photos of various galaxies, observatories, Carl Sagan, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and a life-size fathead poster of AB in uniform next to the back half of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle that protrudes from the wall. Clad in pajamas, Bishop and Ella stare at a laptop screen and a video of Navy FA Super Hornet ATFLIR pod infrared footage of UFOs toying with U.S. fighter jets.
It is freaking going on, bro.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look at the SA, my God. They're all going against the wind. The wind is 120 knots to the west.
Look at that, dude. Look at it. It's rotating.
Holy crap.
Bishop and Ella exchange wild stares. Bishop's mini pig, Drake, nudges her and she picks it up and scratches its ear to its delight.
Holy crap is right.
See the latest one from California?
No?
Bishop pulls up a video of a disc-shaped UFO that hovers above the San Fernando Valley. In the distance, 3 fighter jets move in. UFO illuminates, dims, shoots straight up like a bullet. Gone.
Whoa. Where'd it go?
You tell me.
They're screaming, look at us.
No one cares.
Wonder why that is.
No one's paying attention.
It doesn't make sense.
I know.
Ella holds up her phone.
Everyone's looking here.
Tell me about it.
My dad says we've been desensitized.
Grown-ups have everything so screwed up.
Grown-up men.
Not all of them.
No, but the bad ones are like rats. Not the cute ones, but the ones you see hanging around garbage.
Evil bullies, like put here to ruin things for the rest of us.
Too many of them are in charge.
We should change that.
How?
By taking over.
The world.
Starting right now.
They exchange amped up grins, jump up and perform the wiggle, complete with a patented AB ninja chop dap. Ella finishes it off with a perfect tombe pas de bourrée and interior Evers home, master bedroom night. Roz and Doug seated in bed, stressed out, laptops open, eyes focused on childhood schizophrenia web pages.
Okay, disorganized thinking, abnormal motor behavior. Bishop is the opposite.
Delusions, false beliefs that are not based in reality. That's exactly what we're looking at.
Okay, but AB is real and his brilliance is also real. We're big fans. When he went down with the injury, it may have triggered something in her.
She was wearing his jersey every day before he was injured.
Mostly on the weekends.
Weekdays too.
Weekdays, weekends, I'm not buying Bishop and schizophrenia. In my heart, I know it's just a bunch of bull.
We have to deal with this.
All right, let's pick her up from school tomorrow and take her ice skating.
She loves ice skating.
Exterior Mass Mutual Pittsburgh ice rink at PPG Place day. Roz, Bishop, and Doug cruise effortlessly around the rink, interact and play, all smiles. Interior Winter Garden restaurant day. Roz, Bishop, and Doug are seated. Waiter serves ice cream. Bishop's really into the ice cream.
Coconut cheesecake is the best ever.
But German chocolate cheesecake is right up there.
Because it has coconut.
What exactly did you mean by not all of them are good, Bishop?
All of them aren't.
Why do you say that?
Well, some of us are here to take things from us.
What kind of things?
Our best ideas, our best dreams, so we can never fulfill our destiny.
Collectively or individually?
Both.
Roz hides her anxiety behind a casual nod and a spoon of ice cream.
Are there any other good watchers you know of? Other than AB, sweetheart?
Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Chris Long, J.J. Watt, Marshawn Lynch,
You've been, hold on, beast mode?
Colin Kaepernick.
No way.
Roz gives Doug an incredulous glare. Doug acknowledges with a raised brow, puts a spoon of ice cream in his mouth.
Do all watchers play pro football?
Quite a few, but they're everywhere.
In human form?
Yeah, but most of them are in their natural form.
You mean extraterrestrial form?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you getting all this stuff, sweetie?
All over the place, Dad. I mean, just have to open your eyes.
Well, we've never seen a watcher.
When they're in extraterrestrial forms, grown-ups can't see them. You can see AB.
How are we or anyone else to know AB is a watcher in human form? How are we to know that you're not just making all this up?
I don't know, Mom.
Well, we'd like to see the watchers and know that they're watchers the way you do.
Well, I'm sure you saw them when you guys were kids in their natural and human forms, but now that you're all grown up, you just can't recall.
What do watchers look like in their natural form, Bishop?
You're beautiful. Like us, but different.
When's the last time you saw one?
Oh, when we were skating.
A few minutes ago? Right outside there.
Exterior Mass Mutual Pittsburgh ice rink at PPG Plays Day. Roz, Bishop, and Doug stroll up. Bishop points to the roof of the 3-story SBC Equity building across the way.
She was up there.
Roz and Doug stare at the roof of the building.
She?
I can tell she was a girl by the shape of her body.
Is she up there now?
Alrighty.
Don't believe me, Dad.
No, I believe in you, sweetheart.
Doug takes Bishop's hand. They walk away. In the background, on the roof of the SBC Equity building, a mist rises, takes the shape of what could be, fades to nothing. Bishop glances over her shoulder. Interior Evers' home, master bedroom night. Roz weeps quietly, uncontrollably. Doug holds her.
You hear about these things, but you never think. No, not in a million years. Our baby is a schizophrenic.
I'm still not thoroughly convinced.
You heard her. We were both right there. You heard her just like I did.
I know, but I don't know. There's a chance.
Stop it. Please just stop.
What am I doing?
Denying the facts.
Rosalind, we have to slow down and take some needed time to digest all this. Bishop doesn't pose a threat to herself or anyone else right now. Let's take a day or so to get our feet back up under us so we can discuss our next move with clearer heads.
They embrace.
This is going to be difficult. Very, very difficult.
Interior Bishop's bedroom night. Drake by her side. Bishop and Ella FaceTime.
I can't believe you told them.
My therapist told them.
You have a therapist?
They think I'm light in the head. I'm serious, Ella.
Why would they think you're light in the head?
It all started with me wearing AB's jerseys.
Well, did you tell them why you wear it?
Sorta. Anyway, my therapist told my parents what I told her during the session, and my parents aren't taking things very well.
Aren't meetings between therapists and their parents supposed to be kept, patients supposed to be kept private?
When you're a grown-up, not when you're a kid.
I can't wait to be a grown-up.
Me too. But for now, all I know is next weekend, Super Bowl!
Get it to win it.
Oh, Steeler Nation, gonna get it.
Gonna take it all, baby. Gonna take it all.
They wave their Steeler Nation terrible towels and sing the Steeler Nation terrible towel fight song. Interior Evers' home, master bedroom night. Doug and Roz listen to the faint voices of Bishop and Ella as they sing the Steeler Nation fight song. Doug grins.
That's what I'm talking about.
Bobs his head, sings along. Roz takes a shoe.
We have a serious problem, Douglas.
He stops singing. Exterior suburban Pittsburgh, luxurious mansion night. Exterior luxurious mansion backyard night. A Great Dane sits comfortably, light panting, focused on. Back door slides open. AB walks out, strolls to the center of the yard, gazes at star-filled night sky, breaks into an otherworldly dance, akin to an extremely gifted robot. At 10,000 feet, odd clouds roll in. AB closes his eyes, dance intensifies. Soft lights roll around inside the clouds. AB opens his eyes, gazes at the clouds. Clouds flash a detailed and spectacular sequence of lights, various colors, and abruptly vanish. Satisfied, AB smiles, stops dancing, strolls over, does a 3-slap hand to paw, low 5 with Great Dane, and continues back inside the mansion, Great Dane by his side. Exterior University of Pittsburgh, establishing day. Interior Doug's office. Doug seated behind his desk, video conferences Roz, who's in her office, both clad in business casual attire.
She agree?
I sent her the invite, waiting for her to join. She's joining now.
Dr. Smith joins the video conference.
Good morning, Dr. Smith. Thank you so much for taking this call on such short notice.
Good morning, Mr. and Ms. Evers. I can only give you a few minutes.
We'd like to know what our treatment options are.
Antipsychotics.
She's only 10 years old.
With psychotic illness, the treatment in children and adults is the same. The only difference in treating children with schizophrenia is that older antipsychotics, also referred to as typical antipsychotic medications, tend not to be as effective as they are in adults with the same illness.
Maybe because 10-year-old kids are too young for antipsychotics.
I'm sorry, but that's not the case. Newer atypical antipsychotics are used, but particularly when used in children, there may be side effects. Weight gain, glucose intolerance.
We just want to make her well.
Antipsychotic treatments do not cure schizophrenia. She will have to take drugs for the rest of her life to help manage symptoms and prevent psychosis.
Interior Doug's office day, hour later. Doug paces, worried sick. Ping! He takes a seat behind his desk, joins a video conference with Roz, who's in her office.
Rough day.
Same here.
I need a little more time.
We have to do this.
Tonight?
Tonight.
I was thinking more like next week after the game.
Check your priorities, man.
I don't think a 1 week delay will worsen the situation.
You're putting a football game ahead of our child's health.
Wait. Football game? When's the next time you think the Steelers would get a shot at another world championship? Football game. We're talking the Super Bowl, Roz.
I don't give a damn.
Oh, here we go.
You damn right, here we go.
All right. Well, okay. If you really feel it can't wait till next week,
I need you to back me up 100% on this.
I'm still not completely convinced.
We have to speak with one voice. If there's any dissension, she'll pick it up. Douglas.
I'm right here.
I can see that you're right there. I'm looking at you.
Antipsychotics, babe?
Everything Dr. Smith told us was the truth. Antipsychotics are the only form of treatment for her condition. I called around to confirm it.
When?
What do you think I've been doing the past hour? After our meeting with Dr. Smith, I canceled my class. It's called Priorities.
Interior grade school classroom day. Clad in AB jerseys and seated next to each other, Bishop and Ella listen to a lecture delivered by a very laid-back teacher, who may be a little too laid-back, if you know what I mean.
Right after Columbus discovered America,
My dad says Leif Erikson discovered America way before Columbus.
Leif Erikson may have preceded Columbus to the Americas by a few hundred years, but Columbus gets the credit for discovering America because Columbus established and documented trade routes and secured a lasting European interdependence to the Americas.
How does Leif Erikson and Columbus get credit for discovering America when people were already living here?
Noah at 10, charismatic, chimes in.
People living here didn't count.
Why not?
They weren't white. Back then, if you weren't white, you didn't count.
While that may be accurate to a certain extent for the time, not everyone felt that way.
Some folks still feel that way, which is why there's still so much racial tension.
Cause and effect.
Care to elaborate, Bishop?
Well, Columbus founded the transatlantic slave trade and is also responsible for initiating genocide of America's native people.
Yeah, but if Columbus hadn't done all that, we wouldn't be here.
How do you know that, Noah?
There would be no America, dork.
How do you know that, poop stain?
No name calling, please.
We could have been fairer to the Native Americans and the Africans.
Everything happens for a reason.
A good reason, Noah?
We're having this discussion, aren't we?
Well, what if a more advanced society discovered like planet Earth and did to us what we did to the Native Americans and Africans?
Well, if we are the Native Americans in your analogy, the more advanced society would have to bring the African slaves from another planet. And there's no way in heck your boy AB would ever let that happen. Right, Bishop?
You're funny, Noah.
And I'm the dork.
When I grow up, you'll beg to marry me, Ella. And you know it.
Ew.
Class erupts in laughter. Interior grade school corridor day. Bishop and Ella strut down the corridor, chests high, like they own the planet. More and more kids clad in number 84 jerseys join them along the way as strutting music kicks in on the track. Interior Evers home dining room night. Bishop, Roz, and Doug have dinner, tension in the air.
We think it's best for you to take your prescribed medication.
I can't do that.
It'll make you feel better.
I feel great now.
You're not aware of everything that's happening to you right now, Bishop. We have to do what's best.
I'm not crazy, Mom.
No. We aren't saying.
Dad, I'm not crazy.
We don't believe you are.
You have schizophrenia, Bishop.
I do not have schizophrenia, and you can't make me take medicine when I'm not sick.
It's not that simple.
It is that simple, Mom.
No, it isn't.
I know if I were sick, Mom.
End of the pages.
So I actually had a couple of questions to start with. We're out of the scope of what you guys normally do, because I'm curious, kind of just broad strokes, where it goes from here.
Yeah.
Like what happens next? So the fact that I want to know that is a really good sign. So what happens in the rest of the movie?
Okay, she fights. Oh man, I'm so blown out by these actors.
So good, right?
And I really feel privileged. I really feel privileged to have my words that I wrote, my characters spoke, and you guys to do it so wonderfully, man. I'm thrilled. I'm sitting back here with goosebumps here. So,
all right. So
okay. So, as the story advances, they go back to she pushes back on taking the medications. The doctor Smith gives them a number that they can call in case they have an emergency. They go back and they call her in, and she goes in and tries to like do a exorcism type thing on it. It seems like that, but it's a little different. She goes and tries to perform a ritual to get her to submit using witch's magic, because Dr. Smith is actually she's like a witch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And what's her affiliation with the extraterrestrial beings?
with her?
Is she from like a different?
Dr. Smith.
Smith, yeah.
Well, no, she's more not really tied into the extraterrestrial.
Okay.
She goes more into the mystical, and it goes back to the Salem witch hunt and whatever. I mean, I even pulled a scene in the end where she's watching this 1921 movie of Haxon, you know, the witches worshiping the devil, and it pulls into her. She's in a home theater watching this thing, and she collects, you know, when she asks for the hair, she collects it. I'm terrible.
What happens in the rest of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so
how is she connected to the aliens? What's she got to do? What has Dr. Smith got to do with the aliens?
She doesn't have so much to do with the alien aspect as she does with believing Bishop is one of hers. She believes Bishop is a witch.
Okay.
Okay. But the flip on it is Bishop is not a witch, and she believes in extraterrestrials. Mm-hmm. So she tries to seduce Bishop into her world, mm-hmm. get her hair and pull her into a world and have her to be, you know, something she's not. In the end, what happens is the parents end up they pull in their best friends. Ella's parents, they pull them over and pull them into the thing, into the mix. Who his best friend is Ella's dad, who's a cop, and they go in and they investigate and they try and find out more about what's happening to no avail. And what happens is they end up calling Dr. Smith into their home, and there's this real big crazy thing happens, you know, where they allow her to become isolated or isolate Bishop, and so unbeknownst to them, so she could perform a ritual, and the house gets crazy and whatever. And what happens is one of the watchers, a watcher that she has told her parents about, who's a female, comes to her rescue of sorts, and they end up. It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to explain. It's so far out. It's such a weird story, because when the story came to me, I first thought, man, I struggled. I'm not writing this. And I had to find a reason. It has to be relevant. The story had to be relevant, and it was so crazy. And I've never written a comedy. And as it unfolded, you know, I was even like weirded out by it. So I'm just happy it made it this far.
Yeah, so just some initial thoughts. It's really well written. The characters are great. I mean, really wonderfully performed. The characters are really compelling. I love the two young girls that are the center of it. I love the parents. I think the dialogue is really good. I think the humor is really good. I love the specificity. It's very much a love letter to Pittsburgh. I imagine you're from there. No,
I'm just a fan.
Okay. So I really like all that. Kind of my biggest question in the first, this is basically the first half. How long is the script all told?
90 minutes.
Okay, but how many pages?
86 pages.
Yeah, so we kind of got past, a little bit past the first act here. I was kind of missing what the central kind of journey and conflict is of the story. And I mean that both in terms of plot, which is why I asked kind of what the story happened, what was happening in the story, but also kind of emotionally what's going on. So I was reminded of E.T. listening to this. I was also reminded of Sixth Sense. because both of those involve young people. They make some outrageous claims,
Right.
and do the people, in terms of the story part, the plot part, is it whether the people in their world believe them, whether their family believes them, whether the government believes them, what's going on. But both of those have a really strong emotional core, right? So in Sixth Sense, it's about this little boy reconnecting with his mother. Actually, E.T. is also about this little boy reconnecting with his mother. They're kind of about single parent stories. So what I was missing here is kind of what the emotional connection is here. Like, she has both these wonderful parents, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend changing that. But what is the emotional problem that she or her family are going through that the journey of the movie will solve, right? And I love the fact that her belief is kind of in question. I'm wondering, and again, I don't know how the whole thing shapes out, but the fact that you actually show A.B. as an extraterrestrial early means we already know that she's right, and so we're kind of waiting for the rest of the characters to catch up. So you might think about holding that, because I think you can play is she crazy or is she real, or is what she's seeing real? You can kind of play that pretty much for the whole movie, and then at some important moment near the end, say when the Watcher comes to rescue her at the end, you realize, oh my gosh, she was right. This was real the whole time. But if it's a story, a genuine story about a family being worried about their daughter's possible mental illness, that might be an anchor. But you want to think about in a story like this, beneath the humor, beneath the fun, beneath the world building, kind of what the emotional through line is that you're looking, like what's the emotional problem you're looking to solve by the end. And I think you have a really great foundation there, so I don't think it would be hard to kind of dig that out.
Right.
Those were kind of my big initial thoughts. I really like the psychologist, and hearing you just explain that she's from a whole different kind of pantheon. Like you have extraterrestrials, and you also have witches.
Right.
You might think about, is she from, because those ideas fight with each other a little bit. One's sci-fi and one's kind of mystical.
Mm-hmm.
Is she from a different race of aliens, perhaps? Is she from a race of aliens that wants Bishop for their own or something?
Yeah.
So kind of are in the same lane, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just a thought there. But I love how nutty she is, and I love that you kind of lay out what's weird about her. Like she says something very weird in the very first scene. You're like, okay, something's wrong with this lady. But you take a while to unpack that. So I think that tone was really cool.
You didn't have doctors asking for your hair when you were a kid?
No, not.
That must be an Australian thing.
And one other just kind of general thought is there are a couple things that are discussed in dialogue that you might think about putting in scenes on the page. If your script is about 86 pages, you probably have a good 10, 20 pages to play with.
Yeah.
So instead of hearing, you go from the football game to the doctor's office, and you hear subsequent to that Bishop is having a hard time in school, or people are teasing her. I think maybe we should see that. We should, we see her watching a game with friends, or maybe she's at a game and she starts calling out, he's signaling to the others, and you sort of see. You see that whether does it bother her or not. You see her parents see how that reacts. So you can kind of get out there. And then when the mother was talking about getting a second opinion, we could actually go with her and get that second opinion, just so you can kind of inhabit more corners of the world. But I was really intrigued, and it was a really warm characterization of these really interesting people. So it felt real, even though it's a fantastical space. So well done.
Thanks. Cool, thank you.
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why I picked it. No, I really, I keep beating as anybody who's been around me, I keep hitting on characters. Like, you can have whatever, and feel free to disagree with me. But the greatest story in the world dies if you don't have characters that the audience can connect to or believe in or be interested in.
Yeah.
We don't have to necessarily like them, but we've at least got to kind of connect or relate or do something. And so that's what drew me to this. I thought Bishop's character was really intriguing, and I was really worried for her about whether or not she was going to have to go on antipsychotics, especially I'm a parent of a 10-year-old, two 10-year-olds, who on any given day I wish they were on antipsychotics. They won't watch this for 10 years, so they'll be okay. So it felt very real, and the struggle, and then just for my feeling is that I wasn't sure where you were going, like whether this was going to blow up and be a sci-fi movie, or whether it was going to be a small, sort of cheap to produce internal struggle where there are lots of scenes in rooms where they're having conversations because you can't afford to have scenes where they're out, doing things.
Yeah.
At this point, I wasn't sure, so because it's sort of you kind of had a bit each way. Like you'd have a scene with stars and aliens and big football games, and then you'd have a whole lot of talking in rooms.
Right.
So I would suggest making that sort of decision for you as to what you want to do, and then if you do decide to break it out, as Kira suggested. One of the other insiders we had, Chris DeFaria from DreamWorks, said you only need to show the audience things once.
Right.
And there were some repeat scenes. Like they were in the bedroom, the parents were in the bedroom having kind of the same conversation a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And so you could probably use that space to progress, again, as Kira said, to develop more of that emotional underpinning. Like what is, and maybe a little bit more, given that we're 30 pages in, a little bit more of the what is going on with the aliens, or
Right.
if you are revealing it, or if not, just build in a bit more drama.
But the question is, should I just take that out and let it pick it up later? Because my problem is, at least my thoughts on it is to give the audience a hint of what's happening, because it takes off kind of, it has a slow takeoff, but it builds into toward the end. It's this huge scene in the Super Bowl, this big event in the Super Bowl. So,
I'd vote for teasing. I'd vote for, I don't need to know that it's actually real, that she's, what really struck me about this was whether or not Bishop was crazy.
Okay.
Whether she was, like, I know the doctor's crazy and she's got some weird ulterior motives, and I'm not sure if Bishop's really, but Bishop might be schizophrenic, or they want her to go on psychotic medication because of other reasons, or antipsychotic. So I don't feel we need to see AB wiggling to the stars just yet. That'd be my vote.
Yeah, I think the actual, like the objective reveal that he's an alien, I think, or who the Watchers are actually real, I would say that for later. But I think the teasing, and the thing that's interesting is, if the question is, is she crazy? Is she not? We're worried for her. If you stay in her point of view, you can show crazy stuff. The audience is not going to know whether it's actually real or not, because we're in her head. So you just need to be careful when you show those moments that it's kind of through her eyes. Mm-hmm. And other people that are with her either don't seem to see it or they're not there. But I think you can kind of protect your big actual, oh my gosh, these are real, for a good point in the story, but also have these interesting teasy visuals where it could be real, or you could be like, oh my gosh, I think she actually might be mentally ill.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're having so much trouble explaining what the movie's about is not a good thing.
Right.
So,
but I never pitched, and I'm
shy.
I got all these people.
No, there's no pitching.
Yeah,
There's no pitching. But the fact that we don't know by page 30 what the underlying emotional journey is for Bishop, because this is clearly Bishop's movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So we know that, but we don't know why we're watching yet. We don't know what Bishop's journey is. Like if you want to reference E.T. and you want to reference The Sixth Sense, by page 30 we had an idea of what these kids were trying to achieve, or wanted to do, or what they were stuck in, and what their challenges were. We don't know that about Bishop yet.
Well, can you give me a real quick? Let me just have just a few seconds. What it is. Bishop knows that extraterrestrials are among us, and a big event is going to happen. Antonio Brown is going to usher that event in at the Super Bowl. So that's kind of like what's happening at the Super Bowl. A spaceship is going to come over.
So she knows.
Blah blah blah.
So she should probably know that by page 30, shouldn't she? But we don't need to know if it's true.
Yeah, and is it? Yes, yeah, she can know. But then I would wonder, and again, this is more for the later part of it, is if it's going to happen regardless, you might think about, like, does she have a role in it? So, for instance, like Elliot in E.T. had a role in helping E.T. reconnect with his.
But even if she doesn't really know that event is going to happen, but she just knows something is going to happen. She doesn't know that specific event is going to happen.
That actually might help, because if she knows some specific event's going to happen, and as the movie unfolds, she becomes convinced or is told, or we see her visions that it's going to happen at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
She has to convince her family to go to the Super Bowl and do something crazy. They're going to be like, I'm sorry, what now? Like, it really buttresses the is she ill, is she not ill of it all. So you can have the event of that all kind of unfold through the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
it's amazing finale too.
Yeah,
So cool.
yeah, because then you get the Super Bowl, then you can reveal whether or not she's crazy, whether or not AB's an alien. All that stuff can come together.
Yep.
Yeah, in like a climactic thing.
Well,
So-
if the witch or Dr. Smith is revealed in the home to the parents and everyone, that's the way it pans out. I'm just grilling it because I'm trying to go in a little. In the end, it's revealed in her home to her parents that the woman is a witch, and because one of the watchers comes in and helps at the last second,
Right.
and she's tossed out of the house, rolls over in the yard, and just and tossed out. At the same time, she gets the tickets to the Super Bowl and the big event happens. It's all to her surprise, and it's a surprise to her parents. And that is where the big event happens. So my concern is just keeping the audience engaged along the journey. Great suggestions. From you guys. I really appreciate it.
It's
But I
also
can pull out and restructure to keep everyone engaged until that big event.
right. It's
improves.
not just keeping them engaged. It's keeping Bishop engaged in her own story too.
Oh, okay.
So don't just have her have stuff done to her, like have the witch trying and they defeat the witch, or the aliens coming and they defeat the aliens. Bishop has to drive something
The story. Okay.
in the story, just like Elliot does, just like the kid in Sixth Sense. They have to have. That's right.
Yeah, so if she gets some kind of prophecy that like in a big event is happening, she has to find out what that event's going to be. She has to figure out a way to be there. Maybe there's a piece of it that if she's she herself is special to the watchers in some way, something else she needs to do. Like give her some goals. And those goals are going to sound crazy to the people who are worried about her. So we as the audience, and this is kind of what you'll be doing as you're teasing this stuff, we're going to be torn, I think, in a really good way between wanting her to succeed in her crazy event, but also not be so crazy that she gets locked up. I would say that antipsychotics are probably the first part. Like if there's a danger that it might actually put her away someplace, take her away from her family that clearly loves her so much, that I think is a risk. Like that would be terrible for all. That's the stakes there. Is this little girl will be not just medicated but separated from her family.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a couple because we've nailed the film already. So Whit.
I'm going to riff on what you guys are saying, and I think that in a film like this, if you use a non-child example of Close Encounters, a man that everyone thinks is crazy, he knows something that's going to happen, but he's not quite sure what it is. He just knows he's compelled. He knows where it's going to be and when it's going to be.
Right.
But he when people say, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I don't know. I just got to be there. I'm making shapes in my mashed potato." And the other thing I was going to say is that I hate to complicate things, but a diagnosis of schizophrenia for your child begs for a second opinion.
Yeah.
So, if you're wanting to fill out the first half of that script, the parental doubt, I don't think that's just one parent convincing the other one, let's go with the schizophrenia argument. You know what I mean? I think it's like, let's at least go see a second doctor.
Right.
Sure. Very nice. Let's see. TJ.
Hey, buddy. I want to let you know I'm from Cleveland, so I had a tough time.
You're a true professional.
Well done. I do have to say, I was conflicted between the witch and the alien world. For me, it's easier for me to try to get invested in or making the buy for one type of genre or spiritual being versus the other, because I don't know which one I want AB to be, and then there's a witch. Like, I don't even know how they would fight each other if that were ever to happen. It's not my script, and I know this is your vision, but it would help me if you simplified either it's a witching world, or like the kids were talking about in the classroom where they talk about aliens came. I just think it simplifies it, at least for me, if we choose one, so I can research and do whatever, at least so the parents can figure out, okay, so she's a witch. You look up witching and I'll look up aliens, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But
Kira made a comment on that down the same line where she was saying she could be a bad alien. She could be a watcher herself as opposed to a witch. So that's what I'm really locked in on.
Yeah, I think it's a really good comment because it's there's it's storytelling. There's no hard and fast rules, but sometimes when you have the audience make like a big ask of them, like one big buy, it's kind all you get. Like
Yeah.
in the Harry Potter movies, he doesn't suddenly whip out, sci-fi stuff. Like you're in the magic world.
Right.
So it'll allow you to kind of deepen your alien mythology
Yeah.
if you actually kind of stay in that realm. So I think it'll kind of make your story richer because you'll be able to
Absolutely.
dive deeper into that. I
Yeah.
completely agree.
All right, good. Yes, Matt.
Hi, thank you. Going off of that, I kind of had the same. So at first, I didn't really catch that she was a witch. So I thought maybe she just had some motivation, from super companies, all the different reasons.
Well,
why
she's not a witch. She's a bad alien.
And then
What are you
I
talking
realized, like, wait, I think it is easier for me as an audience to focus on like one world. And also I was thinking more of the urgency of the kid, like how sorry, English is my second language.
Stakes.
Yeah, like and how does it manifest aside from like just something around what you said about she's got goals, like she's working on something maybe for that event, and they're like, what is, I don't know, but some urgency.
Okay, so when you say how does it manifest, now specifically how does what manifest?
Like what does she physically, maybe she physically does something to
What does she need to
prepare
do?
for that day, or
Yeah, I think you're right. That sense of urgency will help because it's like why questions like why are we telling this story now? Like why is now important? It could be like she there's a date coming, therefore the Super Bowl is a part of the thing.
Yeah.
So that there's a bit of a ticking clock, which
Right.
is a really useful device in storytelling to kind of keep things moving quickly.
Right.
And there's also the stakes of the risk of the being medicated or being sent to a sanitarium. That's the threat. So I think both of those things. I think you're right because when you have those things driving your story, the audience will kind of be with Bishop and really wanting her to succeed and understanding that basically time is running out.
Yeah, it gives it that urgency.
because I was thinking,
Just-
if she doesn't want the parents to find out, she could have just it can drop with I'm just not gonna talk about this anymore. But
Right.
if there's this urgency, she has to do that.
Right, right,
So-
got you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Good. We'll take one or two more. Sorry, and then you can talk when we're done.
I was going to say that you mentioned one of the first things that Dr. Smith says by herself is that she's an oracle. And if we stay with the idea of staying through Bishop's eyes, if you can show something like the lights, I don't know if this is too much giving away, but that way maybe the audience doesn't know if it's real or not. But if she sees the lights in the clouds,
Right.
and she's making some meaning out of it that has to do with being at the Super Bowl at that day or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Like she's got some grand plan or some vision she sees, but we don't know if it's
Or she's
Right.
paranoid schizophrenic.
or yeah. So we don't know
Yeah,
which
yeah,
way
it
it
could go
goes.
both ways,
She
right.
could be just
Yeah.
batshit at this point. All right,
Yeah,
one more.
that's-
Mary.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi. Thank you very much for bringing in your script. It was very good. I enjoyed it. I just have two little things. One is there was a lot of back and forth with the parents asking the kid questions, and they're like, "What's this? Blah blah blah. What's this? Blah blah blah." I don't know if you've watched Stranger Things, and the way they craft the questions are to get interesting responses from the character to make interesting revelations about how they feel about things.
Right.
I think there could be more exploration in that of Bishop of why she feels the way she does instead of fire, fire, fire. We're back and forth, back and forth. I think those moments could be used to really, really craft how she, what we were talking about with establishing this world and why she feels and her motivation can really reveal that.
Okay.
So that was one thing. And the second thing, I want mom to be a little softer. Just a tidbit, just mom's boom, boom, ball buster, just
Well, she's an engineer. See, she's an engineer. Later on, she's a scientist, and her dad's she teaches engineering. He teaches philosophy. So I tried to give
That's cool. I just didn't know that at the top. I'm like,
Right.
what's wrong with mom? She's
Yeah,
having
she's-
the worst day.
Yeah, she's very scientific, and she's a very serious lady.
Cool.
All right.
If we have a moment of just that information, then that will fly a lot better.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
All right, very good. We need to move on. So good for you. You've learned. You have stuff to work on. Is there any other final? and the risk of having you go off. Any final question you have, or any thought or concern?
No, just I'd like to thank the actors again. It was great. You made my year so far. So good job.